class that I've ever taught in, there's at least one student who finishes their work early, completely, fully. So I noticed that there are a lot of behavioral issues when this happens because they're getting bored, they have nothing to do. And so I have this whole plan in store, and I'm going to share with you today on our lightning lessons on what I like to do personally for students that finish their work early. I'll show you in this video right here that I have this area where I guess these are normally mailboxes, but what I use them for is actually different categories of early finishers. And I have found early finisher worksheets on Teachers Pay Teachers, and they have a lot of really fun ones. For example, they are just using this with a pencil and tracing, and then this one is an optical illusion that they can color. I also put a lot of other kinds of worksheets like mazes, fun word searches, because some of my students really like that, and I always have blank drawing paper too. And I think it's so important that we really think and ask ourselves, okay, if this student is finishing early and getting their work done, why are we rewarding them with more work? And yes, sometimes they want to do more work. They might want to get on a Chromebook and go on 99 Math or Zern or Amplify Boost, and that's great, but I want to have other options that are really fun for them too. So having this little station is really nice because they can just walk over, choose what they want to work on, and they can have a lot of fun with it. Now, some other items besides papers that they can do, and obviously besides reading their library book, is this Canoodle game. My students love playing Canoodle. It comes with these little pieces that they have to match up with the puzzle, and I think this is a really great, relaxing game, but it also helps them use some problem solving skills. So again, I really like Canoodle. I recommend having a bunch of these on hand, and you can get them pretty cheap on Amazon and some other places. I always like to keep a stash of googly eyes and pipe cleaners. Students really enjoy making sculptures and stuff out of pipe cleaners, and then googly eyes can be a great addition to their drawing that they are making. They also like doing videos where they get to watch the video that teaches them step by step how to draw something and they follow along. And sometimes my students want to help me with what I have to do, whether that's putting stamps on papers, passing out papers, organizing something, cleaning the floor, sweeping the floor, helping another student organize their desk. And I allow them to be that help for me because I can always use help. Since I teach third grade, we get to talk about telling time to the 5 minute and 1 minute. And normally they don't get to use this clock. However, if they do finish their work early, playing with this clock or taking a worksheet and making the time on the clock match that time on the worksheet, yes, it's still educational, but it's more of a privilege because none of the students get to play with that unless they're done. Giant Uno works really well. I just got this recently, and then they can play in the back of the classroom on the carpet. And these mindful mazes are really awesome too. I got them last year for my first grade class, but my current class actually really likes them too. And you could just take a pencil eraser or your finger and you trace. And again, it's just something that's like very relaxing and soothing and is not distracting at all to other students. There are also some worksheets that you can get that you use the little manipulative blocks, the little counting blocks, I guess some people call them, and you put it on this picture and it looks really cool because it makes a photo or a pattern out of it, and you can have your students do that. And so I just think at the end of the day, it's really important that yes, you might want to give them early finisher work to do, but should this be something that's graded or something that they have to do? No, I like giving them more of a choice board and then they can choose from the variety of activities depending on what they feel like doing in that moment. And I find that when I reward them for finishing their work fully, completely, and correctly, they get to do something that is a little bit fun that the other students aren't working on. And I think it's really important because then more students I find are willing to get their work done and they want to finish early too so that they can do some of these activities. And if I have certain students who take a long time to get a task done and they never get to do early finisher stuff, but I can tell they want to, those students I might have them do every other problem or just the first half of the page. It all depends. I still want to make sure that they are understanding the concept really well, but I still want them to have a good time too when they are finished with their work. I think last year I used to give my first graders those poppets, but they're pretty distracting. So a lot of the things that they do that's an early finisher is not going to be distracting to the other students that are trying to complete their work. And of course, AR test is a wonderful thing for them to do because we don't always get that time in the day where I can set aside for them to take AR tests, although I do try to have it happen every day. And yes, while that's more of an educational thing, they get really big rewards for getting a certain amount of AR points. So the more that they're working on that, the better. We've also done things like Kahoot and Blooket in the class. Those are two websites I really enjoy, although Blooket doesn't seem to have that many options. And then the students that are finishing early, I might host a game for them, and then we could just play like in the corner of a classroom while the other students are still working. I hope that these tips were helpful for you when you have students that finish early. There are a lot of ideas that I have surrounding this topic, and if you have some early finisher activities and ideas that you would like to share, leave them in the comments below so we can all share our wonderful ideas. Subscribe for more A plus advice, and I'll see you soon in the next video.